Hey guys, Ryan here. So recently, the NZ-41 has kind of crept up in the meta conversation, and I'm here to settle this debate. I'm going to be covering the pros and cons of each gun, and I'm also going to be going into detail on their builds at about 2 minutes in this video. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and we're pretty much just going to get right into it, and we're going to begin by talking about the NZ-41. There really is no right answer between the STG and the NZ-41, but there's probably going to be a correct answer for you as an individual. The main thing is that the NZ does better than the STG is it has a better theoretical time to kill, it's a little bit better in the mid-range, and it really rewards high-skilled players and average players because of its high headshot damage. For cons, one of the biggest issues is the fact that you have to toggle it from burst to automatic fire, and that can get you killed. And the other thing is it doesn't have the same bullet velocity, so it doesn't have the same long-range capabilities as the STG. I personally prefer the NZ-41 on Rebirth, and I prefer the STG on Caldera. If you just look at this clip, I just downed two people there. I'm going to end up downing this guy down here, and then I'm going to make easy work of the last guy, and it's going to show the obvious strength of the NZ. It's not that this gun isn't without fault, because I talked about the long range lack of bullet velocity, but I'm going to get into that later. I just think this is a great option, and I really think some people are going to enjoy this gun more than the STG. But now, speaking of the STG, I want to talk about it. I find that the STG is a little better in the long range, and therefore it's more preferred for Caldera. The recoil is a little easier to control because it's pretty much just vertical recoil, and with the build that I'm going to talk about in 20 seconds or so, I use it with extremely good strafe speed. The only downsides of it is sometimes it just feels like an absolute pea shooter, and there is a lot of visual recoil on the build that I have right now. I still overall prefer the STG on Caldera, but I do think the NZ is a little better on Rebirth. So let's get into the build for the NZ-41. First up is going to be the obvious MX silencer, but the most important part is going to be this barrel right here. You have to make sure that you're using the burst barrel, and you have to make sure that you're also toggling it in game to automatic fire. Now, when it comes to the grip down below, I like to use the strife angled grip rather than something like the hand stop or carver foregrip. This is kind of a small thing, but I do think the strife angled is inevitably the best. Then of course you want to run lengthened, and then when it comes to this whole rear grip thing, I really either prefer the granular grip or polymer grip. You can also run the grooved grip, but personally for me, I've enjoyed both the polymer grip and the granular. It's just going to kind of be personal preference which you like. I like to also run acrobatic with fully loaded, and then this last portion with the stock and everything, the main stock that I like to use is the one, the LOR MK something, but some people do enjoy the Orb Weaver E-Pack, so do try that out and do find what's best for you. And I also like to run it with this 3 to 6 times variable scope. I now want to give you a visual example of the lack of bullet velocity this gun has. Part of this is user control, obviously, but I have a 4.2 KD in Caldera and a 3.3 KD this season in Rebirth, so I don't know. I have better aim and recoil control than most, and you can see that when people are at long ranges, it is very hard to track them. There, I broke armor, but the second he started sprinting, I was not able to hit him reliably with the bullets. Same thing, when he hopped up over the wall, it was a lot harder for me to hit him because of the bullet velocity. But when you use the STG, this is the main benefit it has over the NZ-41, and I'm going to show you another example of what that looks like here. Because I was so used to using the NZ-41, I'm going to actually lead this person too much, and you're going to notice that if I just aimed actually more directly at him, it would have been a super easy kill. I was so used to using the NZ-41 that I just let him a little too much, and that is a massive issue that the NZ-41 has, and that's why I mainly prefer the NZ on Rebirth. The reason I am able to kill these people this quickly is because of the insane headshot damage that this gun has, and that's what makes it so lethal in the mid-range. It has that low recoil like the STG, but it has a little more oomph if you just hit those upper chest and those headshots, and that's what separates it from the STG and why I personally like it so much. I will say though that I did drop a 28 kill game in trios using the NZ-41 on Caldera today, so it's more than viable enough as a long range AR on Caldera. You just have to be aware of its strengths and its faults. Before we get into the STG build, I want to talk about this ridiculous strafe speed it has. Look at this clip. I am moving so fast left and right that it's almost impossible for that person to hit me. This is such an underrated part of this gun, and it's also why it's such a meta pick right now. To begin with the STG build, you're going to want to pick the MX silencer. It's pretty much the best in class option and what you want to use on all the meta assault rifles. For then the barrel, you're going to have a choice between the 760 barrel and then the 621. The 621 is better for headshots, but overall, I think most people want to go the VDD 760 barrel. And then for me, I've been using the M1941 hand stop, and that's what's been working best. Although you can use the Carver foregrip, the Strife angled grip, or whatever option works best for you, but I use the hand stop. I then use the 50 Gorenko rounds with lengthened, as that's kind of the meta combination. And you can use the grooved grip. This has been working really well for me, but I've also been using the polymer grip, and I don't think you can really go wrong. I use focus here because it's just a little better for me, and this is where the build kind of gets interesting. If you choose this tactical stock, you're going to have a little bit more visual recoil, but you're going to have that insane strafe speed I showed you earlier, and that's why I'd really recommend running it. If you don't want that and you want a little less visual recoil, use the weighted, the very last stock. That's going to be the meta option if you don't want the strafe speed. And then once again, for this sight, I use the 3 to 6 times variable as that's the best for me. I would really recommend running either the H4 Blixen, the Wellgun, or the MP40, or even the Modern Warfare MP5 with your STG or your NZ-41. I think either of those SMGs, or all 4 of them, complement both the STG and NZ, and you can't really go wrong with either of them. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy this kind of different type of breakdown than I do usually. And let me know down below in the comments which one you're preferring between the NZ and the STG. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this video. It's been Ryan. I hope you have a good day. Peace.